Some things are just wild, you understand? They want Peter Obi's competence, but they don't want his person. So I see a lot of people who are calling out that, oh, Peter Obi should come and give ideas or give out the ways that the government should work, the economy should work, the country should be back on its track. Same people who opposed him, who did everything to malign him, who called him all sorts of names, who called his supporters all sorts of names, use bigotry, religion, everything you can take about to attack this same person. And all of a sudden they are not saying that, oh, it's a burden on him as opposition leader to lead all of these things. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you for real? Your head, well, I mean, and something they do you. Shoo. See finish you. No, they fear face. No be small thing. No. Then do you. Even if they do you, no, go meet the person where do you. Even if the person don't buy where do you, no, go look where they bury and go ask and say, come and do what you do. Stand. They want Peter Obi's competence, but they don't want his person. So I see a lot of people who are calling out that, oh, Peter Obi should come and give ideas or give out the ways that the government should work, the economy should work, the country should be back on its track. Same people who opposed him, who did everything to malign him, who called him all sorts of names, who called his supporters all sorts of names, use bigotry, religion, everything you can take about to attack this same person. And all of a sudden they are not saying that, oh, it's a burden on him as opposition leader to lead all of these things. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you for real? Your head, well, I mean, and something they do you. Shoo. See finish you. No, they fear face. No be small thing, no. Then do you. Even if they do you, no, go meet the person where do you. Even if the person don't buy where do you, no, go look where they bury.
So, guys, we all know that the state of the economy of Nigeria is really dwindling. So many people are saying that Peter Obi should come to the aid of this government to give them ideas on how to help the economy to revive again. So many people are saying that Peter Obi has got so many good and creative ideas on how to move Nigeria forward. And they are like asking him to help the APC out. And that is what Aisha Yusufu is reacting to, because she's like, is it these people that made fun of Peter Obi? Now they want Peter Obi's idea on the table. I don't know if you can still remember during the campaign, on one of the occasions, the current president of Nigeria said Peter Obi is busy quoting false statistics. If it's statistics, we go chop. And currently, they are looking for his help. They want him to come to their aid. It's still those statistics that he was quoting then that he's still going to use in giving them the idea on how to work on the economy. So you can imagine the state of things in Nigeria currently. Let me just allow you watch this video. Take a look at this video for you to know that Nigeria is already like crumbling, because we're told that they inherited bankruptcy. And honestly, the state of things is not funny at all.
I think now statistic we go chop. A lie with arithmetic that no Indian can solve it.
Edo admits that Nigeria's debt servicing has reached an all-time high of 98% of the country's revenue. And it will simply make a bad situation worse if the country continues to rely on borrowing.
But we will be able to share there's nothing to share again. It's finished. We need wealth creators. Now, we need somebody that can create wealth. Everything that is left in that pot is gone. It is not a time for rascality. It is not a time for careless talk. We need somebody that can understand how to build an intangible and tangible assets of a nation building. Who has connection globally that can stand and speak to colleagues and plead with them to come and save Nigeria. Or we will be refugees. No.
What are the alternatives? We can't rely on borrowing. Where do we get the funds to fix infrastructure and all other business of government?
Yeah, thank you so very much for having me. I remember that a number of years ago, 2 years to be specific, I spoke with your colleagues on similar topics, and I projected by 2025, Nigeria will have to borrow to service debt, not to buy yacht, which we have recently seen in the budget that was presented to the National Assembly, not to even buy vehicle for members of National Assembly, not to pay salaries, but by 2025, Nigeria may have to borrow to service debt. We have seen that we have gotten to the brink of it by spending 98% of all revenue generated to service debt, which means all we are spending as a nation from our revenue on ourselves, whether capital expenditure or recorded expenditure, is only 2%. The implication is that all presidential trips, the vehicles that members of National Assembly are buying, 168 million naira per vehicle, per the number of persons that is in that assembly, and paying teachers, paying lecturers, labor, everybody working at least under federal government, they are 98% borrow. In fact, it may be more. Only 2% is what goes from our revenue into it. So what is the way forward? The way forward is that we must become innovative. First, we have to block leakages. How can we be cutting checks of 60 billion naira every 4 years, saying that we don't believe in our economy, we don't believe in our system, and say Japanese economy takes 60 billion from Nigeria on annual basis, not because we want to do anything, but because we feel that our members of our representative, they need to be in a brand new vehicle when the nation is bleeding at 98% of all revenue to service debt. But we still cut a check to give to them. So how do we block leakages? It's so very, very important. Again, where are the revenue windows? Should we continue to mine the little or tiny revenue? And I must say this, Nigeria rebased, and we forget too quickly, 2014 or so, we rebased the economy. It's not that the economy grew to this level. We actually rebased, that's why we got to this point. But after rebasing, what has happened to our economy in the real sense of it? Growth, apart from 2014, have continued to slow. We've not been able to even get to 2015 growth rate, because the fact is that we did not grow in the real sense of it to the kind of revenue we have today. So we need to block leakages and find unique revenue for those who should pay more to pay, so that we can have a country that is better, that is growing, and become better managers with our resources.
That one, I think now statistic we go chop. A lie with arithmetic that no Indian can solve it.
I think Nigerians can feel, Paul. Let me bring in Odelim. Odelim, this is not one, two government officers speaking the same week on Nigeria's economy. It brings us to some of the key concerns that many Nigerians have been talking about. How can Nigeria really and truly, in fact, let's start, is Nigeria truly and really broke?
Suleiman, you don't need to answer. Nigeria is broke, so you don't need to answer that question. I think at the end of the day, what we need to look at is how do we get out of our situation? It's not noise cannot solve that problem. It's going back to restructure Nigeria. We all know that. I spoke I think it was about a month ago or thereabout. I said we can generate $500 billion through a means that already know. You must find alternative way to generate serious revenue. It's not whether they buy a car or don't buy a car. Those will not solve the problem. Cutting costs will not solve the problem because the kind of costs they are talking about. Also, it's part of the economy. Because besides buying cars from Japan and all the rest of them, there are so many things that's part of the economy. I mean, when you pay salaries, it goes down to the trickle-down economy. Economics. I think at the end of the day, government will ask for those men and women who have greater idea, innovative idea, how to find alternative revenue. We must find that alternative revenue because we must pay that tax. We must pay those debts. We must pay those debts in order to be alive economically. That must be done. Any other thing we are talking about here, Suleiman, is just trying to add additional things. But I believe the most important thing government has to do is to look inward and say, what can we do? Let them call some Nigerians. Let them stop thinking they know it all. Let them call some Nigerians. Nothing is wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with calling some Nigerians and say, what do you think? How do we solve this problem?
Right. Paul, let's bring you back in here. I mean, Mr. Wabara is saying, look, it's really not about those. He thinks the issue of buying vehicles and all of that, they are minor issues. The real fundamental issues here is there seems to be a lack of an economic management team that has the ideas as to how exactly to diversify Nigeria's revenue base.
Well, I cannot agree with Mr. Wabara, a very good friend of mine, but he also understands the concept of economics. If you say that you don't want a house to be flooded, but you open a tap that makes room for flooding to happen, you cannot handle Nigerian issue only on revenue window. If you don't block leakages, one of which we don't need, I see no reason why every 4 years, and not just vehicles, even unnecessary expenditure that we see in the budget, not just for legislature, even for executive. So as much as you make revenue, which I alluded to, and there are several revenue windows which I've shared, not just for federal, even the state. I've mentioned that government can generate up to 30 trillion naira from several windows. I've had that conversation on this platform and so many other platforms around the country.
For the benefit of this conversation, it would be nice to hear what exactly those.
Okay, I give you an instance. I give you an instance. In 2020, the National Bureau of Statistics revealed that two of the sectors that grew in leaps and bounds were banking sector and telco sector, which includes telco infra. The question is, of the revenues that these two sectors got from the analysis that came from the Bureau of Statistics, what percentage of revenue paid to government increase? It actually reduced for the two sectors. Recently, you saw what banks are declared that they have made. What percentage of this money is going to cover some government? And I'm talking of institutions, and there are so many of them, at least 25 different sectors like this in Nigeria that are not paying what should go to government and what should actually go to government. In fact, one of the major drivers, one of the major players in telco is not a Nigeria, and they took wealth of Nigeria and took to another country. I don't want to mention the country in the Middle East. You know, based on research we have done, at least Nigeria should not get less than 600 billion naira from that organization. But what did we get? We have federal government that don't communicate properly with state, and when it comes to revenue that should go overall to government, there are no communication. These are strategy, these are part research-based findings that we have documented evidence on how we can grow our revenue to the bottom. I must put a caveat. If you grow your revenue and your revenue base is so huge, but you have children who don't care about how money is made, they don't mind to drink any bottle of champagne, and you believe that is also part of the economy, we will ask, who is producing the champagne? Is that economy? If you say that we should continue to give our money to Japan, who is getting the job? When you import, there are three decisions. It's important for our listener. Right. There are three decisions. You are telling your population, and this is what Mr. Kawabara is saying that Nigeria should remain unemployed so long as we can give jobs to Japanese to continue to produce our cars. We have enough sin in the East that can produce the same car for us. If you think it's not safe, then why do you think it's safe for Nigeria to buy the vehicles? In America, they don't present other countries' vehicle. I am not saying you can't even spend your 168 million, but spend it on the economy. Let it create jobs, okay, and let our foreign reserve not get depleted.
That one. I think now statistic will go chop. A lie with arithmetic that no Indian can solve it.
Let me bring Odelim back. When I asked the question about if Nigeria is truly broke, that's something philosophical and logical here for us to take out. We're talking about a country that has about $4 to $6 billion, translating to 16.25 trillion naira, as a loss to crude oil theft alone between 2009 and 2020. You can quote the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, on that. That's on one hand. We've also talked about the revenue that the country is losing from solid mineral resources and a plethora of things that the country is not putting its hands on. So, Odelim, truly, how can we stop these leakages that is making everyone think that Nigeria so blessed yet so poor?
The problem is that we look at the small issues and we focus on those small issues. I've told you, I think I was on your program some time ago, we have to bring economic restructuring. That economic restructuring will entail who does what and how do we move this economy. Are we going to be import-dependent economy? Are we going to be internally dependent economy? Are we going to grow small businesses? These are the issues I think we can be looking at very at this present time. All the issues of leakages, I'm not happy. I'm happy with the leakages, but this will not solve the problem. Maybe cut this cost, but it will not solve the problem you invited me to talk about. I've told you that when the economy is in this type of dilemma, you bring people who will tell you how to get out of it. America got out of Great Depression when Roosevelt, in the 30s, in the late 30s and thereabouts, solved the restructuring of American economy and the financing of American economy. We have to look at this level I'm talking about, not the level of whether somebody will produce this, because unless you restructure the economy and make it not an import-dependent economy, you grow the economy. As soon as you grow the economy, you grow revenue, because revenue does not drop from the sky. Banks might be leakages through the bank, but you leave that one for the Central Bank of Nigeria, because I've said time without number that Central Bank has to actually unbundle itself by creating a system that focuses on managing the activities of commercial banks. The Central Bank will focus on monetary policy. So these are the kind of changes. And also, Suleiman, I want you to agree with me that our judicial system is also a problem. You see, we have to look at the complexity of Nigerian economy. Let's stop looking at the economy from its narrow point of view. If you want us to talk about the narrow economics, we talk about narrow economics. But we are talking about a country that must move its economy to $1 trillion. And to move that economy to $1 trillion economy, it means that we find alternatives. I'm not against borrowing. If we can borrow to focus on financing small business, if we can borrow to finance essential infrastructure, we borrow. China continued to borrow until the late 90s. And up to now, China borrows. America is a continuous borrowing country. It is what you spend the money you borrow on that matters. So
that's the challenge. So let's bring in Paul Alaje. Look, just like Nwebara said, it's a complex situation. He's talking about economic restructuring. I wish I could stay on him to, help us understand what form or what manner of economic restructuring we're talking about. Where do we need to start from? But maybe you want to take it from that point. And Wale Edun also says there is a need for government to spend more. If government is to spend more, where will it get the funds from? It's really complex, isn't it?
First of all, priority of government must be clear. Why are we spending money? Nobody runs his business or office the way we are running Nigeria and expect growth. Check. How have we been running Nigeria? In the past 5, in the past 10 years, and the past 15 years, if we run our private businesses like this, are we going to see growth?
How do we need to run it now?
I tell you, so to make progress, we need to ask ourselves question: what are the real drivers of development? What are the real drivers of growth? What are the things we must do? And I will say these are the things we must do. The bedrock of all development for any nation is energy, is power, and transport. The way, if you want to know how Nigeria is, look at our transport system. If you want to know the future of our country, check our energy level. How much power are we able to produce? But most importantly, we be in what are we prioritize. I will quickly speak about debt. You see, there are 3 rules when it comes to debt. The least of the rule, which we call the necessary condition in economics, is what is your level of debt to GDP. In Nigeria, there's still room, but don't make decision in economics. Don't make decision until you see the sufficient level. The sufficient condition is what is happening to debt service, revenue to debt service. The rules is if it's more than 33%, it make mention of China. Check China's revenue to debt service. It is not up to that. Check America that he mentioned. Nigeria is 98%. If you don't understand comprehensively economic decision, economic policy, and you just mention it in passing, it's capable of destroying the nation. People advise government to devalue Naira. Where have we landed, all of us? We are now have to kill in Abuja for PMS because things are getting tougher. Inflation, according to the Bureau of Statistics, not my figure, 27.33%. Economics is not as simple as we think it is. We must have a comprehensive knowledge of it. Now debt service, which is the sufficient condition in economics, is more than 98%. Does it even make sense for us to say we should keep borrowing? The last part, which is the most important, and I have to say this, is what is happening, what is the impact of debt? Debt has grown on the average by 25% in the last 6 years. But what has happened to growth? The growth has only grown by 2%, which means even the money that is borrowed is not impacting the economy. Does it mean that we have used the money to build individual bank accounts? Does it mean that we have not really grown the economy with the money?
I think these questions are...
I think now statistic we go chop. A lie with arithmetic that never, no Indian can solve it.
So guys, you've watched this video. You could see the APC people laughing as if, the state of the economy is something that one should just play with. Peter Obi was busy giving statistics and telling Nigerians on how we can move Nigeria from consumption to production. And you could see them making reference to Peter Obi's statistics and like saying that is this statistics we could chop. Honestly, the state of the nation is biting on everybody, whether you're an APC member or Labour Party, PDP, whatever party you belong to. Everybody is feeling the impact. And even those who supported the current president are also feeling the impact badly. There is a guy who you are going to watch in this video, this upcoming video, who has been lamenting because he's asthmatic. He wants money to buy medication. This is one of the persons who bullied voters in Lagos, that people from a certain tribe shouldn't come out to vote. And today he's lamenting. Most of them are regretting their actions. But you know what? It's already too late, because the tribunal and the Supreme Court has upheld the person of Tinubu as the president of Nigeria. So let me allow you watch this video and drop.
So Tinubu's illegitimacy is already affecting Nigerians, and this time around it is also badly affecting his supporters that voted for him during the last election. So we remember when GSK, the drug producing company, was leaving Nigeria, Peter Obi lamented that the company that has been in Nigeria for years is finally folding up and leaving the country. Yet most of their supporters said that it does not matter, that the company has nothing to offer Nigeria. Now people are now lamenting, especially the APC, as drugs they used to buy before now has skyrocketed, and one of Tinubu supporters is now crying out on the internet, saying that the drug he used to buy as an asthmatic patient has tripled. And also, in the midst of all this, Tinubu has come out to tell Nigerians to endure suffering, that this suffering will in turn birth greatness at the end of the day. He told Nigerians to not relent in enduring the suffering that they're currently going through while he is cruising and enjoying. He's telling the people to endure suffering. I'll be giving us details on this and more, and I'll be showing us that video. But before we go fully into it, I would like us to please do all to like this video, and please do all to subscribe to our channel so you will get updates whenever we post a new video. So this APC supporter who overran for the position of National Youth Leader of the APC is now lamenting and crying that his 45,000 naira salary cannot buy his inhaler, and Nigerians are actually now bringing out videos when he was enjoying and cruising with the APC. Now he is now lamenting. These are the people that will come online to attack Nigerians when Nigerians are saying the truth. I'll be showing us those videos, but before we go into it, I will show us this laughable statement by President Tinubu in the midst of all the hardship and sufferings that Nigerians are going through. He is telling Nigerians to endure the current tough time. See the way Punch newspaper reported what they said. He said, current tough times, Nigerians sacrifice for better future. Tinubu. President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday admitted that Nigerians are currently going through tough times due to his administration's decision to remove fuel subsidy and converge the foreign exchange rate. He, however, described the tough times as necessary sacrifice to guarantee a better future. So this is what he said, that this current hardship that Nigerians are going through is necessary, that it is part of the sacrifice they have to make for a better future. And we are asking this question: what has the president sacrificed to give Nigerians this better future? You are enjoying yourself, you are renovating your houses, allocating billions to yourself, to your wife, in the midst of these so-called sufferings that you said Nigerians have to endure. What are you enduring for the people you are leading as the leader of the nation? You are not enduring anything, yet the people keep enduring on a daily basis, and you don't have anything to offer them. This is indeed very pathetic. It just shows that this administration will keep saying this from the beginning of time. They have been telling Nigerians to endure hardship, telling Nigerians to endure suffering. When are we going to enjoy the dividends of democracy? People have been enduring, yet you as the leader, you are not enduring anything. Reacting to this on X, this person here said, Nigerians have been sacrificing for a better future since before I was born. When we go finally see the better future serve. Another person here also reacted and said, please, what sacrifices have you made? You bought cars for your wife. You couldn't cancel the order of the yacht. You made a supplementary budget. Your cabinet is over bloated. Senators are buying cars. You shared 5 billion naira for all state governors, which we have not felt the effect. And that's it. What sacrifices have you made as the president of the nation? Instead, you keep asking people to make sacrifices. Since you came into power, nothing for the people. You keep asking them to make sacrifices for the country to be better. Yet we are not seeing any improvement in our nation. Also reacting to this person here said, Buhari said same. And this is it. Buhari said the same thing to Nigerians when he came into power, the Nigerians should endure hardship, that they are going to work towards ensuring that they give Nigerians the dividends of democracy. But at the end of the day, after 8 solid years, there was nothing that they offered to the people. Nigerians were able to endure the suffering for the 8 solid years without any help. Another person here reacted and said that future is taking too long. More so, that government is not making requisite sacrifice as well. And that's it. They are not making the same sacrifice they are telling the people to make. Another person here also reacted and said, this is so wrong, and it irks me that this statement is coming from someone under whose administration each senator is buying vehicle worth 160 million naira aside their allowances, and the president procured a ship, but the poor masses should endure the hardship. Nigerians are still not ready. This person here also reacted and said, when will this future come? We suffered under Buhari while he looted and told us of better tomorrow. Today the suffering has increased and you want us to endure. When will enjoyment come like the days of Yaradua? Another person here also reacted and said, Bola Tinubu budgeted 5 billion naira for food, 13 billion naira for renovation, 5 billion naira for yachts, 1.5 billion naira for SUVs for his lover, Remy, and so many other unnecessary spendings. But Nigerians must continue to make sacrifices just to fund their luxurious lifestyle. And this is it. Indeed, what they are just doing is they are telling Nigerians to endure hardship, while themselves, they fund their luxurious lifestyle, they enjoy themselves, while the masses that they are meant to work for will continue to endure the hardship. This person here also reacted and said, Nigerians are always sacrificing for this country, but never do the politicians make any sacrifice for it other than to please it and keep asking the poor to be patient. Any government that is not ready to cut down the cost of governance is not ready to do anything tangible. We would have believed your lies if not for the stupendous spending on frivolities and appointments of logs of wood to strategic sectors of our national space. And this is it. Nobody can believe this kind of lie you are telling the people. You are telling Nigerians to endure hardship while you are cruising, while you are enjoying yourself. This is indeed very sad that these people don't even have any plan for the nation at all. Another person here also reacted and said, yet you have furnished Aso Rock twice in less than 6 months with hundreds of millions. You have purchased a luxury yacht worth over 5 billion naira. You have purchased some bulletproof cars for your wife worth 1.5 billion naira. Should we talk about how much you have spent on hotels and reckless spending? Another person here reacted and said, scammer, we never voted for you. Hashtag Tinubu is not my president. Let those that can be deceived keep being deceived. Buying vehicles worth 50 billion naira and above for people who either was elected rightly or rigged their ways into the government while people are lacking and suffering. What is Tinubu, his family and cabinet members sacrificing for the economic development of the country? His son bought house worth 11 million naira in the UK during the COVID. He bought himself a yacht of 5 billion naira as soon as he was sworn in. His wife got 1.5 billion naira first lady's vehicles. I ask again, what did Tinubu sacrifice for Nigeria's development? And this is it. He has sacrificed nothing. Yet you keep coming out to tell Nigerians to sacrifice. We Nigerians keep sacrificing when you are doing nothing for them. Another person here also reacted and said, it's not necessary, please. You can't be living in affluence and telling us the hardship is necessary for economic development. Just recently, an incredible supplementary budget was passed where new cars were budgeted for people already wealthy and have a lot of cars. This statement is insensitive, I think, and this is it. Indeed, the statement is insensitive. You just keep telling the people to sacrifice when you are doing nothing yourself. You just keep enjoying yourself. You and your cabinet members, your wife, your family, all of you are enjoying, while Nigerians should sacrifice and endure hardship. So this is this Tinubu supporter that voted for him during the last election. Now he is now lamenting that he can no longer afford to buy his drug since GSK left Nigeria. And this is actually a company that when they were folding up and leaving the nation, Peter Obi lamented that they are leaving and the impact that this is going to have on Nigerians. Yet the same people that were supporting Tinubu opened their mouth to say it cannot affect Nigeria, and now they are the ones lamenting about it. I will show us the video when he was crying out to the government to come to his aid. Watch this video, guys.
Please, Nigeria government, you people should come to our rescue. For we will get asthmatic patients wey be say we cannot afford this. You people need to call this company back called GSK. Before this teletype for we will get asthma for this Nigeria. This teletype is about 8,000 plus. But because say this company don't pack comot for Nigeria, look at now. I'm at the pharmacy. Fleshy missing this 52,500 abba. Virtually yela wey would they buy 2,000 before. Because say this company wey dey produce am for Nigeria don comot. Now virtually now don enter 8,000.
Also, this video playing here in the background is when he was enjoying himself cruising in private jets during the campaign, and he felt that because he was comfortable, this is how it's going to be for him for life, not knowing that this administration does not care about anybody. All what they were after then was how to grab it, snatch it, and run away with it. And it has happened to him now, because he is claiming that where he works, they pay him 5,000 naira, and he cannot use that to buy his asthmatic drugs that is almost climbing to over 52,000 naira. So he cannot even afford the drug. Even the one that is lowest, according to him, is over 11,500 naira. So he's calling on the government to come to his aid. This is why we keep saying that election have consequences. You might feel that, okay, you are enjoying the bag of rice, the 5,000 naira they are giving you at that point in time when they are asking you to vote for them, when they are asking you to rig for them. But at the end of the day, after all the things you commit for them, they will abandon you, and for the next 4 years, you will still suffer with other masses that will be suffering from the impact of their rigging. And this is what Nigerians are saying. I'll be showing us what people are saying concerning this. Reacting to this on X, this person here said, "Why are you blaming Bart for your sufferings? Did he promise you anything? Have you held him accountable? How do you intend to hold him accountable on promises he never made? After all your theory, tech tricks, enjoy your running prices of food and medicine. Stop the wailing. The man never attended presidential debates, never engaged in any economic conversation, and never granted any TV interview. At the Chatham House, people volunteered to speak for him. Meanwhile, you are still on baby steps of shege and pain, and you are crying. Wait till January, it will hit adult steps of pain pro max." And this is it. These same people, you know that this person has nothing to offer, but you are claiming that he's from your tribe, he's from your region, that is your turn to enjoy politics and power, and then you all went out to vote for him and snatched the mandate of the people. This person here also reacted and said, "Today I learned another strategy in million ways to die. You are suffering from asthma and you went ahead to vote for APC. My brother, that's another strategy in 1 million ways to die. Poverty is almost killing you and your family. You went ahead to vote for APC." This person here also reacted and said, "You think elections stop at your polling unit? More consequences go follow your papa reach house, good or bad. When voice of reason dey beg una to vote well, una think say na joke." And this is it. Indeed, elections have consequences. At the end of the day, after all you've done during the election, the 4 years will determine whether you voted rightly or not. Another person here also reacted and said, "Do you know how many persons have died due to this bad government he helped install due to fighting for his stomach? Do you know how many children are hopeless because their parents do not have a job? Do you know the number of ladies that have resorted to prostitution because they can't get a means to feed?" This person here also reacted and said, "An APC supporter and a lawman staff, Suleiman, who in 2020 complained that lawman hadn't paid him his salary and still went ahead to support this useless government, now complaining about the prices of inhalers in Nigeria. Sadly, he is an asthmatic patient." And that's it. We are not happy that he is sick, but he is actually part of the people that actually made it possible for this government to be here, because he worked with them and helped them in rigging. This person here also reacted and said, "They think they are doing us. Funny enough, no obedient is complaining or has ever complained or lamented openly like this." Another person here also reacted and said, "In a sane country, you don't allow a company to fold up. You do everything possible to keep it open. even if it means giving its tax rebates. Just allowing the company to close is enough reason not to vote for APC, but not for Abados and Ronu praise singers. And this is it. Tinubu's administration allowed the company to fold up, and at the end of the day, see the way drugs is skyrocketing and people can no longer afford to buy them anymore. Another person here reacted and said, they said election is just a game. They said GSK could not compete. They said Obi should be a sportsman. When Obi talked about GSK existing in Nigeria, they attacked his tweet. Election is not a game. It has consequences. And this is it. Indeed, election is not a game. You are going to reap the fruit of anything you do during election. Another person here also reacted and said, I remember when Peter Obi lamented about the exit of GSK and how it will affect the cost of medications in Nigeria. Those of us in Jagaban army ignorantly attacked him and even laughed at the company. Please, you people should forgive us. We thought JSK was owned by an obedient, and this is actually coming from one of Tinubu's supporters also. He has also realized that what Peter Obi said is actually nothing but the truth, and he's now apologizing. At the end of the day, like Peter Obi keeps saying, it's going to affect every one of us. You can't go to the market and say, I am an APC supporter, and they will sell it for you at a cheaper price. No, you are still going to suffer what other people are going through. Another person here also reacted and said, wait, I just heard this guy is an APC supporter standing firm on the mandate of Tinubu. So which government is he asking us to call so they can beg GSK to come back to Nigeria? The same government he supported that made the country unbearable. Another person here also reacted and said, when GSK Pharmacy left Nigeria and said their products will now be gotten via a third party, most people didn't understand what they meant. Now, Seretide inhaler that asthmatic patients used to buy for 8,000 naira is now being sold for 52,000 naira. We have never had it this bad in Nigeria. When Peter Obi talked about GSK leaving Nigeria, Baptist came under his post to vomit rubbish. Now, that's the instant result. Ventolin that was affordable for all is now expensive. How I wish it's only that guy and about those that needed those medications. And that's it. At the end of the day, we know that it's not only them that we need those medications. Even those who voted correctly are still going through what they did in the last election, are still going through the impact of their rigging. This person here also reacted and said, when we were telling them that the APC's Muslim ticket has nothing to do with the Islam and Muslim, they thought we are the enemies of our religion. Thank God, in less than a year, they are all regretting their selfish decisions. If you want to do politics, you are at liberty to support any candidate of your choice, but don't ever bring religion into the politics. I am a proud Muslim and I am against anything that's against my religion, but APC's Muslim ticket has nothing to do with our religion. They are on their own. They are evil people. They use religion and ethnicity to deceive people, and now the ethnic and religious people are the ones crying. Let's learn to separate politics from religion. May Nigeria succeed. Amen. And this is it. They use religion and ethnicity to deceive many, to support them during the last election, and they use it to buy their way, use it to rig and stole the mandate, and at the end of the day, they can't even offer anything to the people. In every region, you see people lamenting, you see people crying of all this administration is doing. They have nothing to offer to the people. And that's why for you to support a candidate, it should not just be that the person is from your place or the person is from your religion. It should be that the person has the right mandates to offer to the people. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. Please do well to share your thoughts about the video in the comment section. Please do well to like this video, and please do well to hello viewers. So Tinubu's